You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Thank you.
There you go.
Beautiful. Thank you. See, that wasn't so hard. It's just, Gary knows this. It's a prerequisite. 100%. We don't hit record unless someone sings. So we all just sit at the table, awkward, until we get going. Welcome to the show, guys. It's show number 300. We have something a little special to do. That's why you're here. But yep. How do you want to talk, or how do you want to say? How do we want to talk about this? I don't understand.
Well, we let the elephant out of the room, right? We're here. So.
Well, I mean, that's the reason why Movember
right?
and the breast cancer or the cancer ribbon is there.
Cancer is around all of us, right?
Yes.
So it's something we should talk about and spread the word about. So many people who know me or know what I've gone through, I'm a survivor. My dad, my mom, we've all gone through it. So it's something that hits home. It hits home. It hits everybody. And it's part of construction. Everybody you talk to, someone has it. Or someone has been through it, or someone has passed through it. So the handlebar there, that thing there.
Yeah, November. You do it every year?
You know what? I actually just started it last year after my dad battled the prostate cancer. Routine surgery almost put him 6 feet under. So it's close to home. Breast cancer was my mom a year ago too.
Yeah. And
we had a scare with my wife here, Carrie, and so it's something around all of us.
So thank you for coming in. We're gonna have an interesting show, something a little different. But I do want to do the shout out. So Gary, obviously from Mayor's Carpentry, at Mayor's Carpentry, and what else? Is there a website? Yeah, no,
nope.
There's no. It's IG.
Just IG.
You're on IG. If you want to tag him during any kind of coffee posting, apparently a lot of coffee posting has been going on.
That's about it
lately. Yep. Then we have Carrie, your wife here. So Mystical Clothing and Apparel.
Yes.
Okay, and then on IG, it's mystical.ca.
Yes.
And then email is clothingmystical@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. Cool. So I've got your lid on. That's what I'm sporting right now.
Thank you.
I do want to do just a brief shout out to Mike Strickland there, because I know that I just mentioned to you, he reached out with a message and he was asking me which trim guys to follow. Why did I lose him now? All of a sudden I lost him. This is frustrating. There it is. Okay, so it's Mike Striker 129. He's an avid listener. He's building in Costa Rica, and he wants to know about some guys to follow, some trim guys. You want to recommend somebody? Obviously, Mayor's Carpentry.
Yeah, we got myself and my old man. Yep. If you want the old school way,
old school, new school.
Yeah, we got Wicklow Carpenter, Aaron, great guy. Yep. Worked with them. We got Frank from Carpenter on Site.
Oh yeah.
Right. We also got
Andrew.
Andrew.
I was like Andrew.
No, my neighbor is Frank Preet. That's why I came Frank, but it's Andrew. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, Andrew. We got Fabio also. Fabio Andrade. FNA. Yeah. And we got Joe Unique.
Unique.
And we got Laz also from Mestre, MESTRE. Yeah. There's a lot of guys out there, like even. Oh my goodness! When I come up with this, I go blank now.
Well, there's a lot of you just got to, and I think if you go to your page,
another. You got Casey Nips also another great.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. So if you start following one, everybody's kind of following each other. Yeah. It's kind of great that everyone's doing that and supporting each other. So Mike, there you go. We answered that question. Moving along, and how old are you, man?
My wife says I'm 44.
Okay. So that means it's correct.
I lost count after 20.
Okay, so do you want to walk us through, I guess, how you first discovered?
Yeah. Like life was great, man. Life was going amazing. I was 23 years old. I was
that young.
I was with my now wife. Got married. We got married in 03 and June of 03, and I was already feeling pressure on my chest. When we're going to bed, I would like wake up feeling like I was out of breath. Pressure on my chest. And I used to keep saying something's up. I used to be athletic. I used to be healthy. Well, healthy. I used to smoke, but I never drank. Smoking was my bad habit.
Nothing, not even vino?
Nothing.
No vino.
Just water.
I used to.
I'm
Well,
surrounded.
iced tea.
Yeah, iced tea, and
I'm surrounded by non-alcoholics, man.
at that time.
Oh, okay. Now
At-
we're drinking.
now-
Now we're drinking.
Yeah. So it was like life was grand. I found, the love of my life. I had met her when we were like 12 or 13 when we first met.
Really?
Our fathers used to work together.
Okay.
They were partners, and
So even before high school sweetheart kind of thing.
we
We
were
known each other since we were kids.
yeah.
Wow.
So, I used to tease her brother at work that, one day I would be sitting at the table having dinner with them, and he would like cuss me out saying,
Never gonna happen.
And then, I had, we all have our experiences with boyfriends and girlfriends at the time, and we did our rounds. And one day I told her dad, I go, because she had walked by one of our sites. We were actually doing the Nova Era Bakery down on Dover Court and Bloor. And
I know exactly what you're
yeah, so we were doing that when we used to do all of them, and she walked by and it caught my attention. And I was like, wow, I go, that's Albano's daughter. So then as a joke, I went up to him because we were working together at the time. She came in to say hi. So I said, hey, if I date your daughter, would you be upset? And what did he say? He goes, I fed her the best, and I'm not going to give her to you. I'm like, thank you. We'll work on that. And we did. And I set up a family vacation. My mom wanted to do a family vacation because I was, working all the time and out traveling, whatever. So we did a family vacation, and she came along. And it took, 2-3 days. And
Where did you guys go?
went down to Verdera, Cuba.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and the parents went down to Havana, and all the kids stayed behind at the beach, and that's where we connected.
Nice.
And from there, we dated a year.
About, yeah.
Went
about-
back, yeah.
So that was
year.
back in 2001?
Yeah, 2000,
Yeah.
2001. Went back to Cuba. I proposed on the beach,
Nice.
and then asked for the ring back the same night.
You want to leave that part out?
Nope.
Okay.
Because the following night we had a dinner planned where I had the pianist play and
Oh,
everything, and I
okay.
did it properly in front of the parents.
Got
So
it.
she had the chance to back out, which was risky on my part, really risky. Thankfully she didn't, and everything went well. And we came back, planned our wedding,
Yeah.
and did our bridal shower. We had our bridal shower in April in Easter. And then from then on in is when I started feeling not myself.
The pressure?
Pressure, faintness. Like I was just feeling weird, just not
And
myself.
you didn't think anything of it?
I started thinking I'm not myself, right? So right away you start like, oh, it's stomach issues or whatever, like something like that. Even went to some other like a doctor, and they those, what do you call those things? Those doctors.
And like I
Oncology?
wouldn't say like a naturopath, but
One of those
like
natural,
one, like not.
like Usu Anton,
Got it.
that guy.
Okay.
And
We'll put subtitles up for the non-Portuguese there.
Yeah. So, and he sees they show him a picture of this is my my nephew or my son or whatever. Is anything wrong with him? And he goes, oh yeah, he's stomach problems. I'm like, stomach problems. So I started going on. What did I started doing? Like some relaxant for the stomach or whatever to try to ease, because I was getting like tight. I felt my stomach.
knots
You
in
start
your-
getting
Yeah.
anxiety, right? So you start getting anxiety, like I was getting acid reflux.
Okay.
So then
How old are you? You're 20?
I was 22, 23. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And 25 at the time. We were just 25. Yeah, I was at 25, and doing that, and nothing was happening, and pressure still on my chest that night, and go to the doctor. You're fine. Do this test. You're fine.
You're
Everything's
stressed. You're
fine. Yeah, you're
stressed.
stressed. You bought a house.
Were they
Yeah.
falling back to your young age and thinking this can't be really anything because of your young age?
That's back. Yeah, we're talking 2005 right now. And
But I'm talking about the doctors. Were they
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's 2005, so it wasn't for our society, because we didn't have social media back then.
Yeah.
So we weren't aware of how big this is, how much it affects everybody. It doesn't matter your color, your age, ethnicity. It doesn't matter. We're all, unfortunately,
Everyone.
We're a target, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was just stress. You're stressed because you bought a house.
got married.
Got married.
Yeah.
Or you're getting married, right? So it was like all that stress. And I'm like, listen, I'm not stressed. I go, my wife is great. My job is steady. I have money for bills. I'm not stressed. I go, what I'm stressed about is how I feel. Because I was a guy who, go out, work all day, party all night, work all day, party all night. I had no problem. I used to drive downtown to Toronto every day from Mississauga to go see her, spend time with her. Like when we were dating, I felt great. And then it was just shortly after our wedding shower, things changed. And I was persistent with the doctors, and doctor over and over again. You're stressed.
How many times did you go to the doctor? Like what period of time?
I would say every couple of 2-3 weeks or so.
Yeah,
like he was he was on it. Yeah. Like he wasn't feeling good. He went to the doctor.
Did you feel dismissed by the doctor?
Well, yeah, I was getting really pissed, but the thing is, they gave me all the tests to go do. I did CAT scans. I did MRIs. I even had like a couple, inside people at Toronto Western. I got in like quick just to check me out.
They didn't find anything?
Nothing was showing up.
He was prescribing any medication?
No. We didn't do any meds.
No.
But none of the pain was changing. Nothing was dissipating.
It felt like I was only at night. So they were pushing it to anxiety and kind of thing, right? And it might have been. I might have brought this on myself with the anxiety. I don't know, right? Like mental health is huge. We don't know. And if we start thinking negative will come, right? So that's why we got to try to push a positive vibe, positive this. But if it's bound to be, it's bound to be. So we did that, and whatever. Went away on vacation. Let's unwind. But I had done an X-ray prior.
You leaving?
To us leaving. Just a regular chest X-ray that I had pretty much threatened my family doctor. I showed up at the office and I said, listen, I'm having trouble breathing at night. I wake up, gasping like I'm going to die, like I feel it. I go, something's up, and I'm not leaving until I get another appointment. Because he was like, you can't do more chest X-rays. I go, something is up.
So you've already done a series of chest X-rays?
I've done chest X-rays. I've done
CAT
scans.
everything.
I did everything.
Nothing
had showed up at that time.
Okay.
So we go away to Dominican. We tried Dominican this time. It was just us and my family. So my brother and my parents. And time of our life. We had one of the best vacations ever. And it was just a great unwind. It was beautiful. And we get back, and I have a message on my thing that I have to come in and see the doctor. And I was like, okay. I go, maybe we got something now. So we went in, or I went in. And they're like, there's something that showed up on your X-ray. We're going to send you to a specialist. So I said, okay, good, we got something.
What was showing up on the X-ray?
Well, they didn't tell me at that time.
Okay.
They said it was going to be taken to a lung specialist, because they said
it was like cloudy.
Yeah, it was cloudy. They saw something around the lung. And I was like, great. I used to smoke. And right away I was like, smoking got me. And I said I would never smoke. I pride on that. My dad hates it. My parents hate it. You know what I mean? So I said I wouldn't do it too. And I fell into it.
How many years did you smoke?
I started at the age of 17, so a good 8-9 years.
Okay.
There. So I was like, wow, okay, here we go. So we get to the specialist. Oh, sorry, the specialist was after. No, so I had known that the specialist was going to call me before we went on holiday. Sorry. And then when we came back, the specialist said, yeah, come in and see me. So I'm thinking, well, nothing to it. Down at Sherway, down Trillium. And she was working. She's a hairstylist, still is. So she was working that night. And I said, okay, I'm going to go see the specialist. And she got home by the time I got to the thing. And I walk in, and this guy casually goes, Carrie, you're 25, right? I'm like, yeah. So I give all my information. He goes, okay, what I'm going to tell you is going to be a little bit of a shocker. And I'm like, so right away, you start feeling
anxious.
And he goes, you have a cyst on your lung. And I'm like, a what? And he goes, yeah, you have a cyst growing on your lung, 3 centimeters by 9.
By 9?
Going across your lung. And I'm like, okay. I go, that explains the pressure I'm feeling. He goes, we're going to have to remove your ribs so in order to get to that cyst. And I'm like, what do you mean? But are we not going to find out what this is? He goes, well, it's a cyst, so we're going to remove it. And I'm like, okay, but why don't we do a biopsy? He goes, well, if you want to do a biopsy, we could do a biopsy. I said, oh, well, I think we should do a biopsy and see what it is.
Why doesn't he want to do a biopsy?
Because they were a cyst. I'm a young guy. I had cysts before, like benign cyst or whatever, right? So they said it's just a cyst.
Okay.
So we book a biopsy. Go in for that biopsy, pick, and within a week.
No, that appointment, you did that biopsy, and we suggested to get a second opinion. We're like, we want a second opinion.
Well, once I got the biopsy.
So what was the assessment of the biopsy?
The biopsy was, I went in, again, I'm thinking, well, nothing to it. They're just going to, and he goes, you have cancer, and you probably have about 6 months left to live. And I was like, great. Thanks for sharing.
This is the specialist.
This is the same specialist. And I'm like, so what it would like, I'm like, okay, so that's, I'm 25, just been married a year and a half. We were planning to start a family. And I'm like, this girl doesn't deserve it. Mm-hmm. I go, I don't care about me. I care more about her. I go, she had, the Portuguese style upbringing, right? So I wanted to give her everything. And that happened, and I was like, okay, that's a shit kicker. So what ended up happening, he goes, we'll book a surgery, and we'll go in and remove it and hopefully prolong a little bit.
So based on his experience, the size of the cyst,
yeah,
and your age, he determined you only had X amount of time?
Well, see, I back in the day I used to read up, but I still don't. I still struggle with reading the facts because I was very lucky. Ewing sarcoma is very aggressive. It attacks, and when it does, it usually spreads very quickly because it's an aggressive form of tumor, right? So that was based on facts. You don't survive Ewing sarcoma. It's very aggressive. So, so I remember getting in my car, leaving the office, getting in my car, pretty much bawling the whole way up to our place, up Eglinton. And I get home and she goes, what's up? And I go, I have 6 months to live. And she was like, what? And I go, yeah. And life changed. It was all about fear. But I slept that night. I slept every other night from then on in.
Because you knew?
I knew, but at the same time I was in disbelief. I couldn't believe it. But I also had her support, where she was saying, we'll get through this. We don't know how. We'll get through this. So I told him, I go, well, before my surgery, I want you to send in my results to Princess Margaret, because at the time that was and still is the leading hospital. I go, oh, they're really busy, and we're Peel, that's Toronto. You're Peel. I said, you send my stuff to Princess Margaret.
Why are they so resistant?
It's
politics.
We're all numbers. I think we're all numbers here. We're all human, but we're all numbers.
So I just want to ask you, from the time that you started feeling the pain to the time that you actually found out, how much of a time has elapsed there now?
About a year in a minute.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, about a year, yeah.
Is it fair to say that cyst grew quite rapidly during that course of the year?
It did. Because when we went to Princess Margaret to meet up with the doctor that deals with...
That was another, yeah, but that's before that, yeah.
The Ewing sarcoma.
Yeah, so we had let it go. Yeah, so it grew. We don't know when it started or how it started or how long. But finally, we had booked they had booked the surgery. So I went to go see the surgeon for Toronto, Trillium on Queensway there.
Yeah.
So another surgeon, and I had to go for the post-op or pre-op, whatever you go for. And I go in, and he goes, well, I'm just gonna go in. We'll put you on the table. break your ribs or cut your ribs, take out the cyst, and, you know, you'll be just recovery kind of thing. And I'm like, but if it's a cancer, I want to see a cancer. Like, I want, you know, send it into Princess Margaret. He goes, well, your files have been sent in, but, you know, the surgery must proceed. Chemo will come after. And I said, okay, whatever. It is what it is.
It didn't
right?
make sense.
It
just
didn't sit well.
sense.
It didn't sit well. And but you're this is, you know, we don't have we had internet, but like, you're not having the social media. You're not having the people to come in and, you know, help out or talk to or get it. It was frustrating. It was. But at the same time, we carried on. We worked, gone on with life, you know.
You still went to work. You
still had to do it. You still had to do work. And then my surgery was booked for a Tuesday. I remember the date, the days. It was booked for a Tuesday. And I got a call the Wednesday of the week before, by the grace of God, by Dr. Blackstein. And he called me, he goes, congratulations to Mississauga. They found out, they diagnosed you properly. It is Ewing sarcoma. He goes, come see me. I deal with this. This is my field. Come see me Friday. So I went down with my wife, and I brought my mom this time too. And we went down and met Dr. Blackstein, and he goes, he was very, how do you say, cocky, arrogant. Just
he knew he was good.
Yeah, he's got such a reputation for Mount Sinai and Princess Margaret. He's helped a lot of people prolong life, and has been very successful.
He didn't perform the surgery?
No, he's just an oncologist. So he mixes the potions together to create longevity and help you be restful. And so he's an oncologist.
Was he the first sign of positivity here?
He was it wasn't like you're saved.
No, but it was like a little
he was
more.
just straightforward.
Yeah,
he was very straightforward. The day that we were in that office, he just came in and he said, well, you have two options. Number one, you go to Trillium to do the operation, and you'll be gone.
6 months?
In 6
You're right,
months.
6 months you'll be dead.
It's done. It'll spread and it's done.
I was like, you made me come to Toronto for that? And then he goes,
your second option is I take you under my wing, and we will do the chemo, surgery, and then chemo after. And it kind of made sense to us.
Because he goes, the chemo will hopefully shrink the tumor in order for us to do minimal work inside your body to remove it. And then another treatment of chemo to clean up. So it made sense. And we didn't even talk. I just looked at Carrie, I looked at my mom, and I looked at him, and I said, my life is in your hands. Do what you can do. And he goes, okay, you'll get a couple calls next week, get you all set up. And I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
We came up the Gardner, and we were like, you know, I still had the composure to drive and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I had to do what I had to do, right? And came up, and it was like, I don't know, we're like, wow, I'm 25, married, I'm going to do chemo. Like, everybody sick, everybody pukes, everybody gets weak, everybody gets pale.
You're destroying your body.
To
destroy the cancer, you have to destroy your body.
Yeah. So then you had to come and start, you know, positive, like thinking, and you know, I'm young. I was fit. I used to be really fit, skinny but fit.
Sorry, what time of year was this? Like when did?
So I went in on May to go see him. Second last week of May, that we went in of 2005. First week of June, second week of June, I started my chemo.
So in the back of your head, you're not even going to make it to Christmas.
Yeah. I didn't even, to be honest, I didn't even.
We just took it day by day.
We didn't even think that far ahead. Like, I didn't even think what was, I was like, I can't leave her now. Like, you know, she doesn't deserve this. And what ended up happening? The very next week, Monday.
It was Monday.
Monday, his office called me saying, don't worry about your surgery. It's canceled. Which was on the Tuesday, right? He goes, your surgery's canceled. You have, because we had spoken about family, so now you got to think it's going to kill everything in me. So I had to go and bank my sperm. And that for me was like, I was like, wow, like I'm really doing this. I was, you know, and then whatever it is that I have to do, I got to do it. So he goes, you got a bone scan. He did a bone scan, bone density scan, a CAT scan. He had all this booked within
In 1 week.
1 week. And I was like, amazing. Like, so what ended up happening is he saw me as a lottery ticket, because what I had is very rare, because it usually happens in adolescence, so your teenage years. And it's usually in the joints, your knees, elbows, and you don't know until you're in there. It's sad what you see and what we didn't see because we didn't have the means of seeing it.
Is this from smoking though, or is it anything connected with smoking?
It's genetic.
That's all it
It
was?
is. It's genetic.
Just hereditary.
Because he said, he goes, do you have anybody in your family that has, there's two kinds, there's the brother and the sister of this cancer. And he didn't even think of anybody. And I said, you have a cousin that had when she was 2 years old.
In the kidney.
In the kidney. So
also rare.
It just connected, and he's like, it's in the family.
Did she survive?
And that's what
she survived.
That's what started pushing the positivity. I was like, yeah, she's like 40 now. Like she's older than me by 3 years, right? So I'm like, yeah, she's 30. Like she's older like now. Like she's a mom, she's everything. Like it's great.
Yeah.
And this is, this was back in like the late 80s, mid 80s that she did this, or whatever it was, right? No, 70s when she did that. So I was like, and she's still here. So, okay, we could start, positive. Start thinking positive. And so we did all. And then it was, you got to go bank. And I was like, babe, I'm going to go play with myself at a thing. So we went together for the first time. Went down to university there. And the amount of couples that are in this place is unbelievable. And this is, we're talking 05. I can't even imagine how many are there now. It was
for a variety of reasons, right? It's just
can't have families.
Yeah.
Right. So stress or whatever, like, so that's another thing. It's the stress that it brings onto you, and you see all this stuff. It's incredible. So we were there. I was there at 7 o'clock in the morning to go play with myself to try to have children, because I was told everything would be wiped out. There was, if you come out of it, you got nothing. I'm like,
so even if you survive it, you're gonna lose.
You have nothing. Like it kills you, pretty much. I'm like, wow, okay. Like this is getting better and better. Like every appointment we go to, kind of thing, right? So I had to go bank. I had to go 3 times.
I think so.
Yeah, I went 3 times to go get it. So that way you have, your stuff banked, and then you pay a fee to bank it, right? And then he goes, well, you're starting your chemo. June. It was the 2nd week of June. And we're like, here we go. But I felt not scared. I felt like
Relieved.
Yeah. Like it was, let's do this. Let's figure this out.
There's a purpose.
Yeah. So, and I don't know, this doctor, he just gave me that vibe. Like he was good. And we went in, and, you do your blood work, you check your counts. And then he goes, okay, you're ready. So they had like a room like this, and you have your own room. So they had 4 units, and you had your own room, and you have a 24-hour nurse around you to serve you, to give you your meds, and care for you and whatnot. And so we go in, and it was a Filipino doctor, Jose, or a nurse, and he was like, "I'm here to take care of you." I'm like, "Okay, great." I go, "You're my new buddy, so let's have fun." And there was another gentleman in the room who looked like he had just been through it, kind of thing. And he was there for his follow-up appointments. And his name is Gene Chirillo. He was goalie for the London Knights.
Okay.
And he got this tumor behind the eye. So, big thing too. OHL goalie, you know what I mean? And now, you're having these migraines or whatever. And so he got treated by Dr. Blackstein. And this was the 2nd year or 3rd year that he was following up now. Mm-hmm. And so he sees me, young guy. I had my tan and everything. And Well, no, I had my 10. When we took out the bone marrow, I lost my 10. I had to do bone marrow extraction. That was probably the most painful thing I've ever felt in my life. I lost my 10 in 3 seconds. Because they go in and
just go white.
So yeah, it was bad. And like my shirt got completely drenched with the pain of that thing. It's different now, they say, right? But at that time, I went through that. That was my first experience of pain. So that happened, and so this guy comes around and he goes, "It's your first day?" Because he saw all my bags and stuff, right? And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Can I tell you something?" I'm like, "Fire away, man. I've heard everything already." He goes, This was my room." I'm like, "Okay, that's a good sign." He goes, "I came in just like you, young, fit. You look like you're confident. I was confident. The guy in the next room wasn't, and the nurse hooked him up first, and he started puking." I'm like, "Great, thanks." And he goes, "When the nurse came over to my room, when she was done with him, I told her, whatever you gave him, I don't want it. I don't want it." And she goes, "I just hooked up the water. He's just puking because it's water." And he goes, "It's mind over matter." He goes, "If you fear it, it'll get you." He goes, "It was just water." He goes, "Remember that." At that time, Jose was walking by the room. I go, "Jose, whatever you bring in here, whatever bag, call it a beer. Corona, Budweiser, whatever you want. Don't tell me what it is." "No problem, partner, no problem."
Bring some limes if you can.
Yeah, that's it, right? Like, do what you got to do. And that stuck with me. And I was like, okay, here it is. So sure enough, I didn't know when I was getting chemo, when I was getting kidney protection, or when I was getting sodium. Well, after a while, you start to read, but the first day you don't want to see it, right? And, hook up the IV. I had to do a portacat, so they put in the catheter in there, whatever, hooked up to the neck. And we did that. And, it's going in, and she's there by my side, and "You feel anything?" "No." "Feel it?" "No." "I'm hungry." "What do you want to eat?" "Whatever. Let's eat something." "Okay, eat something." So I'm hooked up, lying in bed, and I'm eating. She had shaved my head prior. Shaved my head prior because we're like, if the hair is going to fall off, let's shave it or whatever, not to make a mess kind of thing. I used to have the hair slicked back. And,
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
We're all young ones.
Yeah, we all had hair back then. So, so it was, I had to stay there one night on my first chemo, Monday, and then you go home Tuesday. So the chemo, it's just a bag or two, depending on what your thing is, or 3. It depends on what regimen your doctor provides you that he sees fit. Most of the day, you're getting fluids is to flush it out. So it goes in and you flush out. So you're hooked up, but you could, I could walk free. I went out for smokes and did everything because my oncologist said, "You smoke?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You might want to stop that." But he told me not to change my lifestyle though. He goes, "Think positive. Don't change your lifestyle." That was part of my lifestyle. And I used to drive by the hospital and say, "Look at those idiots smoking." And I was one of them. Mm-hmm. But it kept me going. And, I did that. So then the Tuesday we go home. I didn't puke. I didn't do nothing. Everything was great. I had my appetite. It was like, okay, that's how we got to go through this. We're gonna do this. And we went home, and you do a 3-week at home. I went to work. I had to work because, you apply for sick benefits or whatever, and you only get 10 weeks or whatever it was at that time or whatever. So it was like, I got to work now. So I just got to be careful. Can't get cut because my blood levels go low. So, and for my dad, we were at our busiest point. We were one of our busiest points there. We had 3 big custom homes going. One of them was for Jason Spence's father. Mm-hmm. We were doing his house. We had another prominent lawyer that we were doing his house all in Cherry. We had to get help. And it was just the wrong time for work for this to happen. And, my dad, I'm with him pretty much 18 hours of the day, and now I'm in a hospital bed kind of thing. And it's like, she's at home doing hairstyling. Like, life just got flipped upside down big time. And you go home for the 3 weeks, and you come back, and it was my second round, same room. Now that room is mine. It's dedicated to me for me to use every time I go. But first you do an x-ray. So you go in, and you get your forms up at the clinic. Then you go down to the x-ray room, and it's like you get fast-tracked because you have oncology on your thing because they know clinics running. So people are there for 3-4 hours, and I get down there. I'm not looking pale yet, but I get down there and like, yeah, go right in. And people start, hey. I'm like, hey, do you want what I have? I'll give you my option. I'll give you my spot. I go, because what I'm getting checked out for, you don't want it. So, and you go in, you get your x-ray, go back up. Okay, your blood levels are great. You're ready to get the next round. And I'm like, okay, great. It's good news, but at the same time, bad news, because now I was staying in the hospital for a week because I had 2 different treatments going on. So I did a 2-day treatment, and then I did a 5-day treatment, or a 1-day treatment and then a 5-day treatment. So from Monday to Saturday, I'd be there, and she's at home, going to work, coming down. My parents would come down every day, or they'd come down. Friends would come by, family, her brothers would come, my in-laws would come, bring me food, lunch, everything. I never ate hospital food. That was another thing that my oncologist told me. Don't eat the food here, it'll kill you. So I was full of energy. I was live. The nurses loved me.
Was the pain in the chest disappearing?
I had no pain. I had no pain, Manny. I was fantastic. My concern was, let's get this. I didn't believe it. And I felt great. Like, I don't remember. The nights were like, why me? How did this happen to me? Like, I did nothing wrong to nobody.
You could sleep?
I was sleeping, but I had the machine beside me clicking all the time.
Could you sleep, Carrie?
Oh.
Not really, huh?
No.
We used to talk at night.
I would stay in the hospital for a couple of days, because I used to have like 2 days off in the week, and I would take it together. So like that, I would go downtown, stay with him for 2 days. Then after, I would go back, come up, and he's still in the hospital. So I would next day go to work and stuff, and getting stuff ready before he comes home, like, the cleaning and stuff, because everything has to be disinfected and all that stuff. And it was just a moving progress. Like, there was no time to think. There was no time to be like, I would say to worry. Like, there was no, it was a go, 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 go. And plus, around that time, I got a promotion at work. So I was learning new things at work and dealing with this. And it was like, now I think about it, and I was like, I don't know how I did it. I really don't.
Choose a rock.
So, yeah, so it was just, okay, what's today? We got to do it, and that's it. Yeah. There was nothing we just wished for good news all the time.
Yeah, she was cold in emotion. Like, she was strong. She never showed me weakness. Like, it was whatever she went through at home, in the car, she never showed me. When she was there, it was for us to enjoy each other's company, push forward, how you feeling, and that was great.
There was 2 times that I cried. The first time was when we got the news directly from Dr. Blackstein. He was doing a physical and stuff, and I was outside, and that's when I just lost it. The second time, when you see family, you start breaking down and stuff. And I remember I went to church. We went to church, and we came out, and then I couldn't hold it. Like, I couldn't hold it in. And of course, I remember that. I start crying, and I remember his words. Like, I remember so clearly. Like, he goes, "You guys are acting like I'm dead."
Yeah.
And I said, "That's it." And that's when I put a shield into my feelings. And
yeah, because it was a death sentence. I was given a death sentence. So anyone I'd seen knew, because I wasn't the first to deal with cancer. My uncle had it before me. He had like throat cancer, but it was like just a surgery, no chemo. I was the first one in the family to get chemo. And that back in 2005 was, you're done. You're getting chemo, you're done. And so every person knew you saw, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm great. I'm probably better than you are right now.
Did Blackstein ever give you the 6-month window?
if I went to Trillium.
That's
If
the
I
only,
had done
that's
this-
the
That's
only
the only
time
time.
that he ever said it.
That's the only time.
But all the other the other,
That's the only time he gave me that. When that time was referring to the other doctors.
okay.
And so when I went for my first X-ray, the tumor had shrunk.
It's a good sign.
It was a great sign, and that's what kept it going. And so we did that 1 week thing where I had this. I'll never forget. It's a chemo called doxorubicin. So it's injected into you from a needle, and it's like red, like a cherry red. And Maria, who was the head nurse, she was a blessing. Like, it was family. They were amazing there, the whole staff. And she would, lie down on my bed. Okay, honey, okay, lie down. We're going to give you a little bit of Kool-Aid. And it'd be like, she'd just be there, and it's like a slow push injection. And that's it. But you don't feel anything. And she goes, you okay? I'm fine. And then all of a sudden, you could see that I'm starting getting flush. Like, this one would make me flush. And I was like, wow, like you feel hot. And she goes, and I'm like, and you're getting all these fluids. You get pumped up with all the sodium, all the kidney protection, bladder protection, all this stuff. You're getting pumped up all the time. You're hooked up. And then I'm like, Maria, I got to go to the washroom. She goes, don't be alarmed. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, you're going to pee red. I'm like, what? And like, this is like, she just injected me kind of thing. And I went, and you're pissing red. And I was like, wow, like, my life, what's going on here? And it was like a strong, potent smell, like poison, basically. You could smell it. And it was like, wow, this is life. Like, this is, I have to do this another 5 times, apparently, or 4 times, sorry. And I was like, okay, we got to do it. And so second week, come home, again, 3-week window, but you're taking other medications to boost your stuff, drinking a lot of water and stuff. But my appetite was fantastic. Eating. I'm putting on weight. A lot of it to do with the fluids.
Yeah.
Other was
All the takeout.
takeout at the hospital. But her cooking at
and-
home is phenomenal. So I think she's everything, and it's what it is. It's like I was putting on weight. So you go for the third one. I did the 2-day thing again. Went home. Everything was great. Nights. Now you're getting the results where I was getting the results. The tumor was shrinking. But at the same time, it's like, I'm here at the hospital again. So it's starting to wear on me. And this is, we're going into, this was already August, July.
So you're 2 months into it.
We had, with the chemo working, we had scheduled a surgery. Because we do the time slot. So if no blood counts change, if I go in schedule, we had a surgery booked at Toronto General with Dr. Johnson, American doctor who is another blessing. But we went in. So my surgery was booked for October 12th, 2005. So just after Thanksgiving.
So like 2 months before this due date thing.
Yeah, exactly. So now life is prolonging because chemo is working and it's shrinking, right? So, but that's also to give you momentum, because I had other people with me there that were no longer there. And then they say, oh, shift got changed, blood work wasn't well, so they stayed home an extra week or whatever, right? And it was a young guy in the knee, and he was like no longer there kind of thing. And it was like, so how do we miss dates and stuff? And nobody told me anything. Because his mom used to come see me and always like, why are you so happy? Because he was very depressed, right? And you're always happy. You're always ordering food. The nurses, what are you having for dinner today? I go, beef a casa. I go, my brother-in-laws are bringing it. Or my dad will bring it. I always had food. Good food. So then we used to order food for us and the nurses. And we'd all sit in my room and we'd all, eat. Like, it was a party. Where I had Dr. Blackstein one day came to me, he goes, you have to look sick. You're making it weird. Right? And I was like, he loved it though. He loved it. But so I started becoming like a poster child for him, because I wasn't your typical chemo patient. And it was giving me that vibe. I wanted that. I wanted that positivity. I wanted to change. I wanted to try to bring something different. And we did it. And then we went, and things, same thing. Then I went for the 1 week, and we're coming across to October. And my surgery's coming up, and it's Thanksgiving. Marked the 1-year anniversary of my grandfather passing away. And I was like, still smoking. And I couldn't have a cough or anything. So all my tumor had shrunk almost to
nothing.
Yeah, almost to nothing. Like one, I think it was 1/3. Like it had shrunk.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, incredible. You guys still removing ribs? Yeah, we have to remove whatever it has affected.
So the ribs were infected.
It was.
They didn't know 100%
We didn't know.
until they went inside.
Yeah. So
they had to be. You had to be open
Yeah.
to exactly find out exactly what.
So we went in blind. We didn't know what was going on. X-rays are showing like, it shrinking kind of thing, but we don't know what actually it touched inside until they go in. So I remember clearly we had a family over, her family, my family, and because it's Thanksgiving, could be the Last Supper, because it was a 5-hour surgery. Who knows what's going to happen? So we did a thing, and on my way to go pick up the food, I was coughing. I was starting to feel bad, and I was in my car having a cigarette, pale, bald, no eyebrows, no nothing. Which shout out to a lot of my buddies, poker nights. It was awesome. They supported me because I had no expression, so I won a lot of pots, and that's what paid the bills. So it was good, and she played. It was awesome. But I go there, throw out the cigarette, and I throw out that pack of cigarettes. I'm like, this is stupid. Done. Mark it on the anniversary of my grandfather, October 10th, and pick up the food. We all have a somber kind of lunch thing, and then we go in for my surgery, October 12th. First thing in the morning, get down there for 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I say goodbye. And in we go. It was Carrie and my mom. My dad was working down in the beaches. Big job that we had down there. He work. That was his release, was work. It's a typical man thing. Work, no feelings, I'm good, right? I don't know what he felt out there.
He has feelings.
You know what I mean? Like, I know he felt it, but that's his release, right? Because he hated seeing me pale, bald. It wasn't his son. It wasn't his helper. It wasn't his worker, right? It was tough. And seeing him, I could see him hurt, right? But at the same time, it was like, you're not here. You're always working. You'd come down every night, drive down, but it was hurting him to see me. So we did that. We did the surgery, and I woke up. I remember waking up in the recovery room, and I look over and I see some guy peeing, like, in the bags. And first when I woke up, I was like, did they touch my lungs? And she goes, no. I said, okay, I got a second chance. I won't touch smoking again. I was worried about my lungs because I thought it was because of the smoking, right? And then I look over and I see a guy peeing, and I'm like, oh, I gotta pee too. And she's like, you are? I'm like, I am. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And then morphine kicks in, and you go to ICU. So I was in ICU for a week. And so of course now family comes down and sees, this guy all hooked up. I was wired. I don't even know how many wires. I was hooked up. They had removed 2.5 ribs from the spine to the sternum to the front. So 5, 6, and 7 is what they touched. And but no lungs, and of course nerves. So I got like a numb nipple now on the right side. Fun, but I feel tingles all the time. I'm constantly numb. I'm constantly in pain. And we did the ICU for a week. The first night I was there, I had a fever, and that's the worst thing you can get, especially because you want to cough. And I had to cough and spit out all this chunk. And what my oncologist said, if you smoke, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And it hurt. But I had another blessing of a nurse in there. She was a beautiful black woman, like bigger, like a mama bear kind of thing. And she's like, honey, I'm going to make you cough because you're getting a fever. And I'm like, oh, no. And the blow, you got to blow in that bubble to make it up, open up your lungs.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's just pain.
I was in pain. I like morphine. And she's like, sweetheart, you're going to hate me now, but you're going to love me later. And she was there beside me and blowing. And then, the fever subsides a bit, right? And then, I went to bed that night, and the next morning, the guy beside me was dead. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. I remember clearly, just the blanket over the body, and you see, like, I'm there. I'm like, that was my first vision of, someone dead beside me. I was like, literally the next bed over. I told her, I'm like, this is crazy. I go, I don't know what's going on here. But we did it. And they're saying you could go golfing within 3 months. I said, yeah, I'm going to give you golfing. But they try to push you, right? Within 2 days, they had me walking. Mm-hmm. Get out of the bed, start walking.
Was there not still, there must have been a bunch of pain still.
Oh, pain, but the thing, you got chemo in you, so that's already killed you completely. Yeah, so you don't know. I don't know what I was feeling. And then, 1 week in ICU, 1 week in recovery, general admission there at the hospital, private room kind of thing, where I'm still hooked up, pipes out of the back and fluid and drainage and whatnot.
Gown with the ass out and everything.
Pretty much, yeah. I wasn't hairy back then, so it was perfect. I was smooth like butter.
Baby's ass out the back.
That's what she said. She goes, I feel like I'm sleeping with a woman. I'm like, it was good nights. But it was one of those things where it was like family come see you. People that you thought would come see you didn't. It's an eye-opener. People you didn't expect there showed up. You get to see your circle when it counts. And it opened up a lot of eyes. And then they send me off, and she's got to take care of me at home for the next 2 weeks. Because guess what? I'm going back for chemo again. Within a week, right? Mm-hmm. Of coming home. So I stayed another week on the couch at home, Pizza Nova. Bring me Pizza Nova because she had to work. My neighbors were a blessing. They'd come, Tim Hortons soup, coffee, whatever I wanted, right? They would take care of me. Also, and family. Then you do your chemo. And I did another 5 rounds. These rounds hurt because now my body's not the same. And that's when she started to feel it, is throwing up. I would throw up. Started feeling down. It started to hurt. Like, I wasn't myself anymore. But push through. You had to push through it. And it was because of her. She was there all the time. All the time. And puking at home, or that's when the chemo thing came in. It was like, okay, but it's because the body was shot, right? Like, I did a 5.5 or 6 hour surgery. It ended up being.
Yeah, you
I was
damaged.
I was damaged. Damaged goods, pretty much, yeah. Right? But at the same time.
But they wanted your body to be damaged like that, so then the cancer could be damaged.
Exactly, yeah. So now the chemo now was a cleanup. So although my body's completely depleted, we're gonna just try to rearrange your system and kill everything still. And we did that until February. So Halloween was great. Mr. Clean, I was fine. Great costume. But nurses loved it. Come to February, Valentine's, I still spent it there. The week of Valentine's. I think so. It was like, Valentine's, and I'm in the hospital. But it was the last week, so it was like, let's get out of here. So we got out. I got out February 23rd, I think it was my last stint there, and I was like, and they're like, you're free. Go home. And I'm like, wow. We did it. Like, we're in the clear. What are you? Because now that's all I think about. So we deal with it. I was on a 3-month period where we had to come back every 3 months.
Yeah, 3
for
months.
Checkups. So
for a year.
Blackstein.
Then 6 months for a year. Then it gets
so when you go in your checkups, you're going in and you're going into a room where people are bawling. People are getting relapsed. The bad news. The first time news. So it's nothing positive that you're in there until you get your news and you're great and you can walk out with. We didn't eat 2 days before. It's like the stomach, the knot, like, because I know what it felt like to get that news the first time. And I fear it the second time because of the tumor that it is, or it was, right?
Were you not optimistic, though, that you guys missed the deadline? You passed the deadline.
Yeah, that was great. But like it was.
But that was a small victory.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because we've seen a lot of them go
back in,
right? People that had got diagnosed the same day as me, started the same day as me, getting the news on their first thing that it came back. And it was like, so this is only short term. Let's make the most of it. Get back to work. So let's go back to work because we got to pay bills now. I've been a year, last 4 months or whatever, I wasn't working. After my surgery, I couldn't work. I'd just get in the van, I'd go pick up, material and whatnot, just to get out of the house kind of thing. And my dad was like, get out, you need it. And we did that. But, it was life. It was, now I'm, ow, you know, they give you the Percocets and all that stuff. I couldn't take that. I was like, it didn't even do anything. The chemo was so bad. Like, didn't feel anything. So, nothing. It was just deal with it. Deal with it. Are you in pain? Yeah. 24 hours. So we did pain assessments. Does this hurt? Yeah, this hurts. What level? 10. Oh, does it feel any better? No, 10.
Where was the pain?
It's all along the rib side and then the shoulder. So all along here. Right? So it's my right side, right? So it's my dominant side. It was like crazy. And, you know, then finally I get the all clear. Blood levels are all back up. Let's get back to work. I go back to work. First week, I get in a head-on car collision. I get sideswiped. The guy at a red light runs a red light, hits me into a building. So I lost my driver steering column. So it was either a building, 4-inch pipelines, or the hydro box from the traffic lights. So on Dundas and Lansdowne, that little shooter there beside those posts are there now, protecting the gas lines because of me, because that accident knocked in. So now, you know, I'm half a body. So let me call the surgeon and check it out, right? See what damage this accident did to my body, because I hopped the sidewalk, hit the...
You got bounced around.
I got bounced around, you know, window splatter, whatever. So I go in. Routine checkup, right? They're just going to do an x-ray. So, okay, bye, hun. Have a good day. Let's go do an x-ray. I go do an x-ray. And the doctor does an x-ray, and next thing you know, I see doctors coming in, OR. You got to go to the OR. I'm like, OR? He goes, yep. That catheter that's still in there for the future, if it comes back, is now dislodged and wrapped around your main artery, or your vein.
From the accident.
From the accident, apparently. And I was walking around. This was what? It's 3-4 days working. You know what I mean? I was okay. I was like, I don't know what happened. And they just panicked. And they're like, call your wife. And because we don't know if we're going to be able to unknot it.
Because it could pinch you.
It could pinch. Like when they pull, it could pinch. And I'm like, what do you want me to tell my wife? Just tell her I love you. Like, I'm like, so I call her. Were you? I don't know if you were.
I was in the hospital with you.
That day?
Yeah.
Were you?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So you were.
Because I had to call your parents. I had to call.
Yeah.
And I was in the waiting room. And
that's how messed up that day was. So, yeah. So she was there and I was like, yeah. Apparently I'm going for an operation right now. And the guy had to go with me awake, just local anesthetic, and he had to untie it like, you know, untying a knot kind of thing. I had to stay awake to see if I go blue. So it was like a half hour. I think like 20.
Oh, it was longer than that.
Well, no, the actual procedure was like 26 minutes or whatever. And he's in there talking to me about golf and bunnies. And
were you asking about his shoelaces?
I could care less. I didn't even. It was so bad. And I felt every little jab and poke and everything in here. And then it was, we got it. And I'm like, okay, great, thanks. Like, these scares were far from few. Like, it was crazy. But it is what it is, right? It's what people go through and nobody knows. I'm not the only one that has it. Everybody has gone through it, right? Like, and do that. So get out and you do your checkups every 3 months and 6 months. And, you know, and then you get your oncologist. Well, you're going to have children. You're going to start doing children. I'm like, no. I go, I don't want to put her as a mom and a widow. I was always thinking about her. Mm-hmm. I was like, if I go, she's still young and beautiful and, you know, whatever, right? Like, live life if I don't have mine. So we talked about it. We're not going to go kids. We're going to try to hold off and see what it does. And thank God we got to 5 years. Like, after the first 2 years, it went to 3 years, and then it goes to a year thing. But every time you go in, it's that knot in your stomach. Like,
was he optimistic every time you went in?
He always said the further you get, the better it is, right? Naturally, because you're becoming normal. But what is normal? Normal is in someone else's eyes. Me, I'm always not normal. I'm always thinking. You could try to think positive, but I'm always negative. I always have that in the back of my head. Like, any little pain I feel, is it that? Because a tingle.
But you weren't like that when you first went in there, though. You had a different mindset.
Yeah, completely different. But now I think it's age too, right? So, but at that time it was that thing. Every time it would be like a month before my checkup. Oh, babe, I think it's back. Like, I don't know. I don't feel good. And she'd be like, "You're fine. Like, you're fine. It's like your head." And then, you know, didn't want to eat, or and then you go for the checkup, you do an X-ray. Okay, you're all good. Oh man, look at me. You want to go for dinner? Let's go for dinner. You know what I mean? Like just like that, right? So it's hard. It's hard to deal with. So you relate to other things. So I started drinking. Started picking up the wine, and the wine was a relief. Didn't have to take meds. Wine was a nice relaxant, right? So glass of wine. So I'm 24 years, no beers, no thing. Now I'm drinking beer and wine like a fiend. I go, it didn't get me the first time, so I'm gonna start drinking it now, right? Like it's, you know what I mean? Like it was that mindset. It was a relaxing. I didn't want to take meds. I've had the meds, you know what I mean? So I went to the glass of wine, glass or two. You know what I mean? It's a relaxing. But we're jumping all over the place. But it was the kids, and then he kept saying, "Well, if you're gonna do it, you better do it, or else someone else will." And I'm like, "Hey, relax."
The doctor
the
was
doctor,
saying
like
this
he
now?
was.
Oh yeah, he was very.
What is he on? Is he on Tinder now?
Yeah.
Or something like, was he making matchmakers or something?
He was the best. Like he was as upfront.
He
as
was
you
letting
could
you
be.
know that everything is good.
Exactly. That's exactly his mindset. It was like, listen, I could see the results. Like go for it. Like give her children, get in there. And I'm like, we were thinking, I really don't want to go through that procedure.
Yeah, no, for
I was
sure.
like, I wanted kids naturally. And then it was like, well, go do a count. I'm like, why am I going to go play with myself again and get, bad news? First of all, every time you go to these places, it's actually good-looking women like my wife. Like, they're good. It's like, why? So you're going to go in there and you're going to go play with yourself in front of these people. They know what you're doing.
You're a contractor. You could build a house. You can play with yourself. Okay? I just play with yourself. Who cares? I built a house. I can play with myself.
That's it.
Just play with yourself.
But it is. So you go in there and it's, a room and, whatever. You do your thing. And I got my results a week later.
The count was good.
They said you had a football team in there. I'm like, wow, how is that?
Good.
So, but then you're thinking, how good is that football team? Like you start thinking, because now you're seeing. I saw a lot of stuff in that hospital, like a lot of misery, in the clinic. It's nothing but sadness. There ain't no happiness. It's sad. It's sad. And when you're in there, you don't know outside. You drive by the hospital, you see cars. It's when you're in there, we don't know what's on the other side of those doors, right? So until it strikes home. But we finally were like, okay, you know what? Whatever, let's try for a family. And we tried. And she got pregnant.
Good.
And we're like, great. 3 weeks later, miscarriage.
Oh.
So we're like, okay. So I didn't even know about the first one. No, I didn't even know. No, she didn't even tell me about the first one. And then we're like, okay, well, I like practicing, so let's try again. And a little further along, miscarriage.
Oh, really?
So we're like, okay, you know what? That's it. We're done. She was getting pressured because she thought I wanted children. She was feeling it.
It wasn't
You
getting
said that.
pressured
By everybody else?
from
family,
everybody
the
else.
Portuguese family,
It was
right?
more everybody else because we were married for 10 years.
Yeah.
And there was no kids, no, when is it going to be? And it's
Like knowing what you just went through. Or what
people
you went
don't
through.
think and people don't keep quiet. Like it's that thing of, when is it? Like, what are you waiting for? What's this? And it's like, and it was going through that. And after having people behind you and talking, I think it was just too much for me. And then I actually went to the doctor and I asked her, she goes, well, we don't really look into it after the third miscarriage. And she goes, just give your body a break. Just don't think about it. And I went home and I told the whole family, because we didn't even tell the family that we had the miscarriages. And I told everybody, and I said to everybody, I do not want to hear anything about babies. I don't want to hear about having them. I don't want nothing. Like, I will ignore you. And
Because you're dealing with something else again. We just dealt with me giving 6 months, and now you're dealing with miscarriages. It's like one thing after the other. And like people just didn't get it, right? It's like, and neighbors are having kids, families having kids, and
Oh yeah, like the same weekend that I had, like the time that I had the miscarriage, we found out our best friend, his best friend, had a baby, was pregnant. So it was like,
tight lip, right? You just let it flow.
And it is what it is, but it was a lot of pressure, and that's when I just put my foot down, and I was like, I do not want to hear anymore. And that's, we lived our life. She goes, let your body rest. And I did. I took holidays. We just went our day.
Different mindset. Like, just let it be. It is what it is. What will happen will happen.
And actually 2 months after,
I was
we talked like,
you
want to start?
Yeah, you want to try? Like, I'm like, you want to go for it again? And she's like, I am. I'm like, what do you mean? How?
Yes. No.
Yes. Yes.
No, I said, okay, let's,
Oh, yeah. We said, okay, we're going to try again, right? And like, let's go for it or whatever.
Yeah.
But then
we'll wait. And
we just kind of talked
whatever.
like,
And after,
and then it was like, okay, you want to actually, try to time it now or concentrate, whatever, you know what I mean? And she's like, I am. I'm like, what do you mean? How? And she goes, I'm like, okay. I go, okay, everything's good. No construction in the house. Let's relax. Take it easy. Go on with life. And, thankfully we had Michaela, our firstborn, naturally. Labor was crazy. This one, what she went through labor, it was not easy. So, you're getting rocked by one, you're getting rocked by this. And then it was like a full day. We had to get like what do you call it? Not the injections, the
Epidural. No?
The epidural is what scared me the most with her, because she started like shaking, and then you get all that news too, because everybody knows what you went through. But let's put on the negatives onto the the epidural could do this to you and could do that to you. So right away, you're firstborn, you're going through this and you're freaking out. And then I had someone say, my sister-in-law or my whatever got paralyzed, and so I'm like, great. So then next thing you know, she's getting the epidural on first water break. She gets the epidural or whatever, and for her first push, and all of a sudden it's like, she's doing the shakes, and I'm like, what's the matter with you? And she's like, I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Like, so the nerves are like through the roof. We did and then it was 6 o'clock in the morning. We had got to the hospital at 10 o'clock the previous morning, on the Saturday morning.
24 hours or plus.
Yeah, Saturday morning we got there at 10 o'clock because they called saying come in, and then we went in, and then they said, okay, you're staying. And it was, okay, it's today, Cinco de Mayo, We're like, okay. And it was May 6th, 6 o'clock in the morning. And we're like, okay, we're parents. Like, baby came out, I was there delivering, helped the doctor and everything, cut the umbilical cord. And they take my daughter to the scale, and I glance over, like, she was a superwoman doing what she did. I look over and I see no motion from my daughter. And I see the nurse kind of like, and I'm like, and like right away, like my heart sunk. And then it was like she gave just a little pat on the bum, and she went, and then she closed her eyes to go to sleep again. And I'm like, okay, she's here. Put her on my stomach and on my chest, and it was, you forgot about everything. It was, this is why God kept me here, was to bless me with this angel. And she was everything to us. It was, our life was so different. Like, so.
Oh, yeah.
It was, everything was dedicated to Michaela. And then, got blessed with the second one, Selena. Same thing with the labor, same thing, trouble with the labor. But you live life on. So now you have these two blessings, and now on your mind, which I think about every day now, is I'm providing for them. We're providing for them. My daughters are always they ask all the questions. They want to see this video. Dad, we want to see. They know we're very open with our kids. They know everything we went through. They've seen pictures. They show, and they understand, and they're grateful. That's why they are the way they are. We're here. Daddy. So we get like 1,000 I love yous before going to bed, 1,000 hugs. You know what I mean? It's what brings joy to life.
How old are they now?
10 and 8. Michaela's 10. Yeah. So it's been
When you had the first one, did you guys hear the Portuguese goal?
It's about time.
Yeah, I was watching. It was so hard because I had my daughter at 6 o'clock in the morning. We got released from the hospital Monday morning after everything got checked out fine. And I got the call, bring the truck. We need you at work. And I'm like, she's just doing the breast testing or whatever, the latching,
feeding,
whatever.
yeah.
And what do you mean I got to go to work? Yeah, we got to go to work. She has the baby. You could go to work. And I'm like, yeah, that's life. I go, so I dropped her off at home, put Miguel, dropped her off at home. I said, I got to go work. And I went down to work. And I worked all week, the week after, and every day since that, right?
Even superheroes have to go to work, man.
100%, right? So, now it's, you talk about the awareness and all this stuff. It's, you deal with it every day. Like you look at someone and, oh, they're great, they're fine, they're happy. You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know. That's why sometimes it's good to ask, but at the same time, it's better off if you just show, like, bring a positive vibe to it. Like, don't necessarily, like, I didn't mean ask. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm great all the time. I'm sitting here, I'm in pain. Nobody knows, right? She knows what I do at night. How much I ask her, babe, can you massage this? Babe, can you rub this? Babe, A5 this. I can't move. I can't sit. She deals with it, right?
Tough.
If it wasn't her, I don't know. Like, I owe everything to her. Like everyone, sometimes they say, well, she's very, I don't know. I go, you don't know what she feels. I go, she's that way because she deals with me, right? But around our children and me, it's a whole different thing. Like, it's affection. You need the support system. It helps having the support system. So if you don't have a support system, that's why you reach out to like these foundations and the groups and you help everybody. And now she started to, like, with her clothing line, like women with this COVID stuff, everybody was at home, scared, unmotivated, depressed. And she's like, I'm going to do something. And I'm like, well, you supported me all this time. I'm going to support you. I go, whatever you want to do, let's do it. Let's help you do it. And so now she's trying to push, awareness to women and being, you want to speak? You can say it. Like,
no, it's hard because people don't look at the supporter, like spouse or girlfriend or parent or whoever is helping the person that's sick. And they never, I look back and I never had anybody telling me, how are you doing, and of course, like, your mind is not even there, like, when you go through all this, but it's nice to have someone. That's why I don't like talking. This is actually the first time I actually talked about this, and it's hard. It's hard because I never felt alone, because I was the person that, okay, let's go. We got to do this. You got to do that. Don't think negative. Let's go. And you put a shield in front of you and you just live your day to day. And sometimes we need support too. Like, we don't want, someone to be like how it's not like doing stuff. Oh, do you want me to do this, or do you want me to do that, or no? Sometimes we just need a hug. Sometimes we just don't want to talk. We just want someone to, just tell us it's going to be okay. And that's why when someone is sick, I know that person is okay because they have the support. I always go to the person, the supporter, and say, how you're doing. You know, everything will be okay. Do you need anything? Here's my number. If you need anything, just call. Yeah. You know, and that's enough.
Yeah, that's what gets lost a lot is the person supporting.
Because people don't see, you know, the person that's holding the bucket while that person's throwing up. Don't see, you know, that person getting up every 5 seconds to see if that, you know, the partner is okay and moving, you know, properly, or getting up in the middle of the night. And it's just, people forget about us, you know. And of course, like, I can't even imagine the thought of someone going through treatments or any illness, you know, and it's a fear. It's a fear I can't even imagine. You always have that fear in your head, but we also have that fear too. And I see life totally different. Like, it's negativity I do not want in my life, and it's positive. It's just, you need positive, and you need people that is positive around you. So
you both went through this, and you both survived it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
but people don't see that way.
Yeah, that's what we got to.
A lot of people don't
that's
say
how
that.
I see it right here. That's
You know?
hearing it for the first time. That's how I see it. I know you've shared it a little bit.
I don't share off.
No.
Yeah, well, I share when I see someone, like, so since I get calls all the time. Like, so shortly after, a good buddy of mine, we had Michaela. No, we didn't have Michaela.
Yeah, I think we had Michaela.
I get the call saying, can I come talk to you? And I'm like, yeah, come by for a beer or whatever. And it's like, you know, I have thyroid cancer. And this was a father of a friend of mine. He didn't even go to his wife. He didn't go to his children. He came to me. And I was like, I appreciate that, but now I got to relive everything again. But I'm going to do my best to give you the support to do it. And, you know, first thing I told him, I go, well, I appreciate you talking to me, but you got to go tell your wife, and you got to go tell your children, because they're the ones who are going to be there to help you. You're fine. You got the doctors, but you need them to help you. I go, I could give you links or whatever you need, like support, but just be prepared that you need the support system around you. If you don't have the support system around you, you're done.
Are they afraid, or are we afraid to offload that pain to them, to our loved ones? We'd rather just keep it for ourselves.
Well, that's how I saw it.
You didn't want to burden.
I didn't want to. I put on that strong face. I was young. You know what I mean? But man, was I ever hurting. I cried often. I beat myself in bed. Like, I hated it. I was at one point I was ready to give up. And this was after my surgery. Like, after the surgery, I remember the nurses coming in. Nobody was there because I'd sleep a lot of nights alone because she was working. The nights that she was there, it was like, it wasn't even sleep. It was the machine's always on and clicking, or, you know, the buzzer going, you need more fluid, or I'm, you know, throwing up or whatever. But the nights where I was alone watching that little 7-inch screen there, and I was like, you know, this is it. Like, this is where I'm going to end up. Like, I'm ready. Like, it's done. I was done. To be honest, today I actually touched back, and I actually looked up another gentleman and I was so happy to see that he's still around. I'm actually going to reach out to him. So he was a lawyer, and he had gone in. He had 2 kids. He had the kids there. Like, he had a family already, and he got knocked with a jaw in the mouth. He had sarcoma, like, in the jaw, in the mouth. And I was like, wow. I'm like, wow. And like, he was trying to feed off my energy in there. And then, you know, our schedules got shifted, so we didn't get to hang out anymore or whatever, see each other, so you never knew. And then today, but his name always stuck in my head, Joel Binder, like, and he's a prominent lawyer. Like, today I was, because we're going to come talk about this, I said, you know what, let me just see if I could see anything on him and get something positive. And it's updated news, 2022. He's a partner. He's doing great. Looks exactly the same. And I'm like, That's such a great sign. I go, Dr. Blackstein saved a lot of people. He was actually even Kevin Frankish from BT. His brother was treated by Dr. Blackstein, but didn't survive. Like, it was too late. That's the other thing. If you get checked out and it's early, you have hope. Like, okay, we think 3x9 was big, but it might have been early, might have been fast kind of thing, right? It was stage 2, I think, or stage 3 that he said. I can't remember that. But it's checking yourself, knowing yourself. You got to go in and check be your own doctor. You know how you feel. Now I'm having trouble with that. That's with this Movember thing. I'm trying to push the Movember, the prostate checks and all that stuff. But I need it myself because I'm always thinking, I feel this way. What's going on? Anxiety. Is it anxiety though? Or is it something else? It's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard. But like, if I don't have her by my side, I'd be lost. But she, I don't know. We've been through a lot. I had my dad, routine surgery for prostate removal.
There was a risk there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
And then they gave him hours to live. He was 24 days in ICU.
I think you need to give these doctors a new watch.
Tell me about it. It's insane. But it's like, it's that second opinion too. Like, if I just relied on that one.
No, question it.
Right? I till this day, I don't know what made me persist.
Just follow your gut.
Yeah.
That's it.
It was crazy. And then now, after the fact, we've lost a lot of family members and friends to cancer. And then it's always that thing, well, why them? And how come I'm still here? Right? So that plays in my mind. And it plays over and over again. Like, yeah, I have my daughters now. I have my girls that I want to, see walk down the aisle. I want to walk them down the aisle. That's my goal, my push. You know what I mean? I want to be with her for many, many more years to come. But that's always in the back of your head. Or not even in the back. It's a rolling, it replays every day. And then, oh, Gary's always happy. Gary's smiling. Gary helps this. Gary's working. Yeah, but Gary's not here. Gary's here, but he's not. Right? And I could talk to people or whatever, go to a doctor, I talk to her, but I still know who I am, like how I feel. All right. So that's when people are going through things or you see them or they've gone through it, like you gotta watch out. Like you gotta say, okay, are you okay? Like hang out. Just hang out, man.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of Garys out there, and there's also a lot of Gary's significant others out there that are staying quiet and probably don't even know how to handle it or how to communicate. And
there's a lot of people that don't know how to handle a situation. Like I had a friend that we met up, and she knew everything what I was going through, and she even said to me, she goes, "I did not know how to react towards you," and I'm like, oh, "Okay, thank you." Like it's that thing of just a phone call, and just you don't know what to say. Don't say anything. Just say, "I'm here."
Yeah, come by. I had friends who say, "You know what? I didn't want to see you in that state." I go, "Well, you know what? That's when I needed to be seen." Right? Because
hospitals are not my thing.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah, you hear it all, man. You hear it all.
It's crazy.
Like, it takes no effort to just send a text, send a phone call.
That's it.
Just to say, what's up?
That's it.
That's it. I got nothing to say. I want to say, but I got nothing to say.
Yeah, I check on my buddies. I check on buddies from the past, buddies from now. Like, you just check up. That's it. Even on IG, the community, whatever, you haven't seen a guy posting a what? Hey, everything okay? That's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. One little simple text. An emoji. That's all it takes.
It's crazy how you'll never forget who was there for you. Never. Like you will.
I know dates. I know times. Like I remember everything that went on. Yeah, you're drugged up. I remember everything. I know exactly how many times people were there. I know who showed up at the house. It's all stuff that stays in my head. And you could be with them. You could be them in a group or whatever. Still be casual, but I know. I don't wish nothing on nobody. There's only one. There's only one person that I wish something on. Only one. But I don't wish stuff on nobody.
You only have one?
Only one.
I have a few.
Only one. No. I only have one. And that's, you mess with family, I only have one. So I could hang out with you, be friendly, whatever, but I know you were there, you weren't there. I remember. I don't say I'm not going to do the same when it comes to you.
You could have shown up and not said a single word, just a glance.
That's it.
That's all it is. Just to show up and just have a glance.
That's it. You couldn't see me at the hospital? Come by me at home.
Wink
I was
at
there
me.
3 weeks.
I don't
That's
care.
it.
Like, just,
Right?
yeah.
So it's sad. It's sad, but to get to that. And that's where all these guys are like, you hear all these people out there, and I know where they've been. It hurts. Like, it hurts when you could see someone, like, they gave me a death sentence. Like, did I not mean anything to you? We hung out for like 10 years. We played sports together. We're family. And you don't show up. I had like people send me stuff to the hospital, even to send stuff. I got people sent stuff to the hospital that I was blown away that they sent the stuff to me, like whatever, flowers, chocolates, whatever. It was just that little effort. I was like, wow, thank you. You know what I mean? It was crazy. The people that showed up to the hospital are the people that I never thought would ever show up. Right?
And then the flip side of people that never showed up that you thought would have showed up.
And it was the same thing at home, right? And the same thing at home.
Did he ever bring the limes?
Yeah.
Never brought the limes.
Never brought the limes?
Never brought the limes. But they always used to come to my for the food. I used to have.
I'm sure the hospital smelled better.
It was
than what
fantastic.
typically
It was
smell,
what
right?
Pizza Nova, Swiss Chalet.
Oh, yeah.
It
Beef
smell like
Casa.
food, happiness.
It was so good. It was.
You would always find a way to get.
I'd call her brother. Hey, are you at school? You're working? No. Okay. Bring some. My mom can't make it because my mom was working down
Ordering
at King and
pizza
Bay. So my mom would come bring stuff, or if nobody could come, there was an Uber. We
Sneak
had
it
to
in or
deliver.
not sneak it in? Just
No, they bring it in.
No.
They
Just bring it in.
Oh yeah, they bring it in. Yeah, it was like a lounge kind of thing, right? We had our 4 rooms, and of course, everybody else in the clinic was like, upset, kind of thing, because
They could do it too.
they could have done it, but they didn't have that drive, right? They had the support. Family was always there with them, like you'd see, the moms or the dads or the brothers or the husbands, whatever. But it was a different vibe. It was what cancer is. It is, unfortunately, it can be the death sentence, but we're far from that now. There's a lot of a lot of medication, a lot of hope, a lot of research that has been done. That's why we got to support these foundations. Yeah, a lot of the money gets lost or put away or whatever, but
You're raising funds for November, no?
I try to raise what I can.
Yeah.
Try to do it.
What's your handle, or what's the website? Or
No, I just donate on my own. We didn't do no handles this year.
Okay,
Last
right.
year we did it with the Bro Loss, but this year it's we're just trying to raise awareness. I do a donation. She does a donation on her behalf too. So we do the breast cancer, we do Princess Margaret, we do our own donations now. This year we didn't do it because life has been busy. So the mustache is just really, you know what? November, I'm doing it. My dad went through it. My mom got hit with breast cancer. So all these people, bam, 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 it's like, it's around. My mom did it alone during COVID, so that was hard.
This is even harder.
Mm-hmm.
That was harder. And she's the rock of the family.
Mm-hmm.
So, now I'm dealing with, your mom's okay, let's go to work. I go, but mom needs help. Mom's at home alone. She would come. She knew what to do. She had to go help her. I'll get the groceries. Right? Like, it was, so she's living it again. You know what I mean? And it's like,
I think that hit me the most.
that hurt, yeah. That was the rough time.
I think that with your mom, I think it hit me the most because I was there when she got the news.
Oh.
I was doing your hair, and the doctor, and I was like, "Oh my God, are you kidding?" And she's like, "Okay, what's our next step?"
Yeah. It was.
That's it.
We're
Like,
reliving it again.
Just go
And
to work.
That's pretty much our philosophy. Go to work, right?
but yeah, and
She had just
pulled-
retired.
Yeah,
She had retired because we got the land with the shop now where we're at, and she was ready to do gardening and play with the grandkids, and
Everyone plans for this time later on in life, and then this,
And that's when
happens.
everything. Yeah.
Just enjoy life.
Yeah.
Every day.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
yeah.
what age or when you finish work or your retirement.
Every day.
Live your life.
Yeah.
Like
Don't plan. Don't plan. Because
It's your last-
planning. Yeah.
last day.
Just live it.
That's it.
Just live it. But easier said than done because we have bills, right? That's
Well-
the thing, and that's what always in the mindset too.
But it's not always about work.
I gotta earn, right?
It's-
You gotta earn. If you have a successful career or whatever, and then you can enjoy, right? But when you're earning for children, bills, family, it's hard. You want to enjoy, but we
Yeah.
got family. I mean, we got bills.
Yeah, but work is not number one.
No, it's not.
It's not. You know, it's always going to be there, and you just have to enjoy what you have in front of you. You know, then
You'll never forget what you have in front of you.
never.
Yeah, never.
No.
Everyone always gets stuck in the rat race and forgets what they have in front of them.
Yes. We do. But it's we just can't.
Yeah, no, one thing communication. If you talk to each other, talk to the people around you, but mostly your partner. If you talk, communicate, you can get through anything, leaps and bounds. And that's something we do every night. We'll talk. We go to bed. We try to go to bed. I remember my uncle, before he passed on that thing, his wife was so upset that they had an argument the night before, and that was her biggest regret, was that he left this world in an argument. And so that's something that I always tell her. We will never go to bed in an argument because we don't know what tomorrow brings. And we do that. And we've done that. We've been together for
It's gonna be
20 years. It's going to be 20 years that we've been married. And it's that thing. And we've had whatever. We've had our highs. We've had our lows. It's not, I want to say it's a perfect marriage, but a perfect marriage is.
There's no such thing.
There's no such
exactly.
thing.
A perfect marriage, you have your highs, you have your lows.
Yes.
And you got to communicate, right? So, and we've done it, but it's talking. And yeah, okay, we have our days where it's like, you talk about this, but you got to communicate. You got to talk to each other. And
That's the key.
That's the key.
That's what I've learned is
that's why what I say matters. That's her key slogan on her thing. And
Yeah.
it was, it is. I listen. And you must listen to who's talking. Be male or female, dad, mom, whatever. Just listen. If you listen, you could go a long way. Right? So listen here to the podcast. It's great. Absolutely great.
Thank you guys for. I
Oh.
mean that's tough. That was tough to just share that, right? I can only imagine.
Yeah, we share it every day. We live it every day.
Yeah.
Right, we live it every day. But it helps to talk though. It's nice to get out there and.
well, of course, and you don't know who you're helping out there, and that person might be feeling a certain way, and they think that it's not normal. It is normal. You're
normal.
human. You're human.
And
It's
reach out to me. If anybody wants to talk, just reach out. I have no problem talking about it. It is my healing. Every time I'd go in for my checkup, I'd go down to the nurse, go see the nurses, thank them. I'd go every Christmas and go bring them their gifts. And it was a family. And I'd go talk to the patients in there, just like Jean did with me. It was something that I wanted to do and kept doing. And we did it. And even the most amazing day was when we brought Michaela. He was like, it's about time. Right? That beautiful. It was his baby as much as it was mine.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I said. I go, this is like your grandchild right here, buddy. I go, thank you. I go, you gave life. And it was amazing. And he goes, all I want from you is a walnut table, a walnut desk. And I'm like, work. Right. Never got to do the walnut desk because, patient-doctor relationships you can't get a hold of or whatever. You can't. So
he retired.
And he retired, and I found out they did like some big ceremony for him because he was so well respected.
Yeah.
And like I want to reach out, but at the same time, it's like that thing. I don't know how he is. You know what I mean? Like what he's gone through, because I want my head nurse, Maria. I have a feeling she's no longer with us because I got that vibe when I went in.
How old was she when?
She was in her 60s, 50s. She was in
the
her
last
50s.
time we went, we kind of got the news that she
We
was
got that
diagnosed.
vibe, yeah, because so actually I got to speak with her from the hospital. I didn't get her number because I had one of the receptionists there. It was a different child. I was a different person in there. Everybody knew who I was because I was that one oddball that was eating through chemo and being alive. And so it was during, what's his name? Rob Ford. He was actually there getting treated the same room that I was in. So it was the time that he had passed there. So he was in there and I had gone in, and you can't get in there, right? He was actually being treated. And then one of the receptionists there, and I was like, "Where's Maria?" And she goes, "Well, Maria's not here." And I'm like, "But I want to talk to her." So, because I got the vibe, she had got it.
Yeah.
So she goes, "Gary, I'll call her." And I said, "Okay, good." So she put her on the phone. And I'm like, "Maria, what's going on? How is everything?" First of all, she goes, "It got me." And I go, "What do you mean it got you?" She goes, "I don't know how you guys put up with this shit. You were so strong. This stuff kills you." And I'm like, "Maria," I go, "You know how I got through it?" I go, "You in front of a mirror right now?" I go, "Look at that person. That person got me through it. You can do it for yourself." And she's like, "Carrie, you're the best. Like, I love you." And I go, "Just stay strong, look positive, stay positive. You could do it." But we went back, and there was like, I went back again for another Christmas thing or whatever, and it just gave me the vibe, like staff had already started shifting.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So all the nurses that were already in there were nobody that I knew.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, so I have gladly progressed out of there because I don't know nobody in there. So we kind of stopped doing the Christmas things because now it's like, hey, who's this guy coming in with gifts? Right before, it was like they knew Christmas time, that week of Christmas, I was always coming in with gifts of bearing, right? And then with the little one, it was so much fun. We'd go together. And, the nurses were so happy. I'd go to the 11th floor, and then the 12th floor, 11th floor was where we'd get the chemo, 12th floor was the clinic. So I'd always do my rounds. And everybody has, progressed from it, right? So, but it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like, anybody. It could be anybody.
Anybody. It doesn't.
Anybody. So, not to be downer, but this is what
this is real. This is life.
It's reality.
This is what happens. It's just everyone just forgets that we get stuck.
Yeah, like we see all these foundations and everyone goes, they want money again. They want money. You know what? They need it. You will need it. When I was in there, I was called a $1 million patient. My oncologist used to say, "You're my $1 million patient." And I had never donated to a cause before like that because I didn't know about it. We didn't. Like, it was like, cancer, gone. And now we do it every year. I donate every year because someone else's donation is what saved me. Those meds were coming in high and steady, and it's what kept me here. Right? So you got to donate. Donate. Talk.
Yeah. It's important. It could be knocking at your door.
Yeah.
And you might need that help. And it's always good to have, foundation, or it's very important.
Yeah. We all gotta live life, right? Like I said, if you want to call or reach out, I'm here to talk.
There's plenty of people going through this or other things, all kinds of stuff.
Everybody feels sheltered that they're alone.
Yeah.
No, you're not alone, man. We're all out here. We're all out here, and we always have our phones in our hand. We could always answer, right? And I try to bounce off these, quotes of the morning or whatever, just stuff that just pops up in my head. But it's stuff that I think about myself. Like, if I say it or if I type it, maybe I'll think about it also, kind of thing. And yeah, it helps. It works. I get a lot of feedback from it. But then it becomes exhausting because it's like, hey, you didn't post nothing today. I'm like, I'm not feeling that kind of day today.
There's a life outside of my...
Yeah, like I leave the house at 5.
Yeah.
We're on site by 6:30. So I have a little window. I'm not closing my eyes and having my coffee to type something. Because when I'm on site, then the old man is like,
Gotta work.
Yeah, gotta work.
Go to work.
Go to work. Come home, I got the children. I got the wife. Help out at home.
Second job. Third job.
Yeah.
Fourth job.
Yeah. And then you go to bed, 10:30, 11 o'clock.
The best job.
The best job. Sometimes, because then now you got the kids coming to dad.
I don't know. You guys are married. I'm not married.
You're good. Yeah, you're good. You're good. But
I want to thank you guys so much for sharing. Honestly,
thank you
so much. It was a little bit different kind of show, and I know that it was actually funny enough. As Carlito was the one that first brought it up and then suggested it, and then I asked you, and then you were more than willing to do it, and then you brought on Carrie, which is amazing. Thank you, and so thank you. And I'm pretty sure someone is listening, more than someone is listening, and it's connecting with them.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, you're not alone. That's the message. You're not alone.
We're human. It's normal if, you cry your eyes out or you put a shield in front of you just to get on you with your day. It's normal. It's normal.
Yeah, don't beat up yourself on it.
No.
Like that, like as I said, her being with that shield is what helped me, because I felt like she's okay with it. Like she's okay. Then she's getting news that I don't know about. So that means I'm okay. I could keep going.
But it's hard. It's not easy. Like there was times like he was down and I was like, snap out of it. Yeah. That's what I used to tell him. Snap out of it. Like enough is enough and let's go.
Yeah.
I'm getting tense just hearing you say that to her right
now. But there was mornings that I would be driving to work and I had to park on the side, and there was a time that I bawled my eyes out, and and it came to a point that I just prayed. I didn't know what to do anymore, and I just asked. I just want more time with him. I just want more time with him, and I guess someone was listening, and that's it. And you just go on with your day. That's why when I came out with my line, you can't judge a person of what they show. Like, you don't know. Everybody has a story. Everybody has, and you just can't be judgmental of nobody.
Nope.
And you just, just be happy. Just be positive. Just look at that person and, so there's a lot of times I'll be like, oh, that could be me. That could be me. Yeah.
Or it was you.
And that's why I just I just surround myself with strong women, strong people. And I think that's what gets me through it.
We all need that.
Yeah, we do.
Thank you, guys. Everybody, you want to reach out. So Gary Mares, Carpentry, at Mares Carpentry, and then Carrie Mare. Mystical Clothing and Apparel, and Clothing Mystical at gmail.com, mystical.ca. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angelina.
For having us.
Thank you very much.